You know, if I was still doing a certain series of mine, this would definitely be on the list. You see, these two idiots, this is the definition of Tweedledum and Tweedledummer. This guy, 31-year-old Kevin Prasad, and his dumb friend right here participated in the killing of a co-worker that Prasad had tried to woo for years, had tried to throw the manhood, or what these young folks call these days, the Quavo, whatever. And she basically kept telling him she wasn't interested. On top of that, she was already in a relationship with her boyfriend, and they had a 3-year-old daughter. In fact, the boyfriend's name is Mark Manicat. And I'm reading this from the Washington Post. Kevin Prasad never seemed threatening, at least not to the woman whose boyfriend Prasad killed. Prasad, 31, had spent months trying to woo the woman who authorities say was his co-worker at the San Francisco International Airport, where the two provided security services. Prasad on several occasions asked the woman to date him, at one point presented her with a piece of jewelry. The woman would always rebuff him, explaining that she had a 3-year-old child with her longtime boyfriend, 31-year-old Mark Manicat. The woman never felt harassed or endangered by Prasad's pursuit. And after a hooded man approached Manicat's car last week with a gun and shot him, it didn't immediately occur to the woman that the killer could be her smitten co-worker. That should change that word from smitten to simp co-worker. But then, and here's a picture of the deceased boyfriend along with the woman and the little girl who now doesn't have a father because of this idiot. She goes, quote, "Wait, there's a guy at work who's been trying to date me," unquote. She told this to the police during an interview, explaining that Manicat had no gang affiliations or enemies. Police took the information and ran with it. Ultimately, it led to Mr. Prasad. Prasad and his friend, the idiot that you saw earlier in the pictures, was 25-year-old Donovan Matthew Rivera, now face possible life in prison or even the death penalty. Both men are charged with first-degree murder, but with the enhancement of lying in wait, meaning that because the men allegedly ambushed Manicat, they are eligible for a more severe punishment than that of a regular murder charge. Prasad and Rivera are additionally charged with assault with a firearm and firing into an occupied vehicle. Prasad and the woman, up until this, had an amicable relationship and still did on April 25th, the woman's last day of work at that airport. She told Prasad she was leaving because she was moving to Las Vegas with Manicat and their child. Prasad had met Manicat before in passing, as Manicat used to work at the airport with them. And basically, the assault, occurred when basically he came out in the mask and said simply, "Don't move." Prasad told the woman. And there's one thing that's curious. In all the articles I've tried to find on this, why is she just called the woman? They ain't saying no name or nothing. She's got to be grown. Why are they withholding her name? Just saying, it ain't like they ain't caught the person that did it. But anyway, this happened around 10 p.m. at night. Prasad jumped out of a car as Manicat backed into, when they said their garage, I'm gonna assume it's the home where Manicat and this female lived. He ran up to Manicat's car and fired 5 or 6 shots at him. Manicat died in the driver's seat of his car. His woman was uninjured. And let me just say this. This piece of crap deserves whatever he gets. And let me also say this. I used to have a series called Simp and Epidemic on all levels. This definitely would qualify. One of my chapters, if it's still up, was on the killer simp. This is definitely the definition of the killer simp. The guy that can't take no for an answer. And simps don't realize women in the world, I don't care if you're talking about black women, white women, I'm talking about all women in general. Women actually outnumber men 3 to 1. Men, if one woman don't want you, there's 2 more that might give you a shot. Man, just hating on a man because he got the woman you want. I'm sorry, I mean, don't get me wrong, she was a decent looking woman and everything, but come on. There's probably women that look better than her. Probably treat you just as good or better. But you stuck on this one woman, and now you have no freedom, and you possibly and deservedly will lose your life because you decide to kill the boyfriend because in your simpishness and your narcissism, you thought if you killed the boyfriend, if he wasn't around, you could start the relationship with said girl. Even if you wouldn't have been the one to kill her, to kill the boyfriend, she probably still wouldn't want you. So this was all for naught. Instead of getting some tail, you're heading to jail. And you might be the one giving up some tail before they take you to that electric chair, that gas chamber, whatever they use nowadays. Anyway, what y'all think on this? I'm out.